The following is a semi-professional... fuck it, read it yourself. So, Illuminati, right? Fuck them. They're not real. Well, not anymore. They were real. But the truth of the matter is human greed is far too potent now. Oh, God. Human greed is far too potent now to have any one organization in power. Because any other organization... also, will people please stop shitting on the Masons? It's a fucking fun club. Like, it's a pay-to-play religion and fun club. There's nothing special about it. They're not,
I have to say,
they don't run the shadow government.
Well, when people say, like, no, they're running the shadow government, at the firehouse I worked at, there was... There was, you know, a Masonic lodge that we inspected, and they invited us to, you know, fish fries and shit, because we've talked about how we live in the Midwest area.
No, man, that's where they hide the mind control chemicals.
Yeah, well, here in the ye old Bible Belt of America, fish fries are still good because eat fish, get into heaven.
Right.
And every Mason I ever met was a very, like, fun-having dude. Their wives and kids were always there. They had Easter egg hunts, like, and people would be like, yeah, man, they're, like, planning sinister shit. I'm like, they're having a fucking Easter egg hunt, dude. Like, yeah. They're raising money for children with cancer. Like,
well, that's more the Shriners, but yeah.
It was at the Masonics temple and stuff.
You have to be a Mason to be a Shriner. A Master Mason once told me that.
I
actually
know.
Invited me to their lodge, and I politely declined because I didn't want to have to pay $90 lodge fees or whatever for the Blue Lodge, and then I had to basically go to school again to become a Mason.
Oh, wow. I mean, the only thing I'll say to any of that with the whole Mason thing, and I know that my evidence is anecdotal, but anytime I've ever seen them, at least in our part of the world of Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, I have never seen anything come out in the news of my lifetime of them doing any dastardly shit like the Catholic Church.
To be fair...
Oh, there's a service call.
Yeah. Is that what they look like?
Yep.
Man, those are...
And then they have numbers.
This is number 5, apparently.
Yep.
Assuming Roman numerals are correct.
They are.
Let's see. I guess I'll go ahead and reload this to get that flash.
So that's one of those things where people say they're evil, and I'm like, well, all I've seen them do is raise money for charity and drink beer and laugh and have a good time.
So on a completely different topic, I mentioned some technical details that I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
My Pro X sensor came in, and in the time between us recording, and I'm now using that to actually play.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Will we do a review on it, like when we get the camera?
Yeah, we'll do a proper review on it, but basically what you need to know is that it's an 8200 DPI mouse, and I'll go ahead and crank it up to 8200 real quick so you guys can see.
Oh my goodness.
My hand is... Roman,
barely moving.
Yeah, Roman will verify that my hand is moving maybe
barely fucking
inch,
moving.
And I'm doing like half turns. So it is a very, very quick mouse. The actual sensor structure is very nice. I like it. You've got 9 programmable profiles right there on the mouse. And
you should keep playing the game, though.
Okay, I am playing the game. I just picked up the mouse a second to cycle through the profiles real quick. I realize I'm showing you and not them. They changed the size of the precision aim button, so like with precision aim on, the cursor moves very little as opposed to a lot for the same hand motion, and that's all configurable. What I like the most about it is that it's completely customizable down to what kind of glide feet you put on it. Like if you want PTFE, which is Teflon, or if you want ceramic, I've got ceramic on there right now.
I have to say, man, when you let me toy around with it, I enjoyed the ceramic a lot.
It's fucking... Dude, it's the smoothest goddamn glide I've ever felt. It's actually almost too fast.
Oh, shit! Where's that little grok going? Oh! Little suicide grok.
I wonder if I'd stopped him if there was, like, a significant effect.
Oh, you could have got...
Oh, actually, not stopping him is a significant benefit, so whatever.
I don't remember too much about this game. The biggest, like, Easter eggy things you can get is the servo skulls that kind of give you a little more to the lore. They
are giving me a lot of grenades and, like, no ammo. So I'm wondering if I'm supposed to be, like, conserving ammo and using grenades more than anything.
Your little bolter right there is infinite.
Yeah, I know.
They kind of always let you have the sword and gun, kind of the regular tactical marine is a loadout that they can have in the game. By the way, the little finisher things above their head, that's how you get health back.
I know.
Like
it's the same as Darksiders. In fact, I think it's the same group from Relic that actually worked on Darksiders.
Yes! I love how gory this game is.
Alright, so here's Fury Mode, or whatever the fuck it's called.
And this is how
Trigger.
you fill your life back up in a pinch.
Ooh, that looked painful. Try and make this one hurt even more, though.
Yeah!
Oh, stop him!
Yeah!
Oh, it's so fun.
Oh, makes my balls feel big. Anyway.
And that's like kind of a fun thing in tabletop is the character Captain Titus, you know, because they kind of up their characters, like make them badass. If that was in a tabletop game, it is very plausible that that character could take on that many orcs by himself. Because he's, you know, supposed to be heroic and all that, and awesome.
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know, it seems like there would be a balance issue at some point. Oh, God. Why are we yawning?
Well, and like
It's
I was,
3 p.m.
like I was talking about, that's one of the one of the largest contentions in the tabletop community of Warhammer is it is highly unbalanced competitively. But Games Workshop has come out to say multiple times, like, well, we're not a gaming company, and we're like, Games Workshop is in your name. There's been constant petitions signed, constant, like, infographics that show them how much people play the games. And Games Workshop pretty much, I mean, they make a fair amount of money, and they just are kind of like, well, this is, sorry, but this is how it is. And it's confusing because, you know,
Oh, okay, so
you're like, there's rules for this game, you obviously made it into a game, but they just, Games Workshop has said multiple times, like, this is not meant to be a tourney game, and Games Workshop itself does not host any tournaments. It's all, you know, third party kind of deal.
Do you know that's actually how D&D got started? Somebody was playing, or Gary Gygax and company were playing, why can I not use this? I guess I just can't use the Stalker Bolter while I'm wearing the jump pack.
Most likely.
That's actually how Dungeons & Dragons got started. Gary Gygax and company were sitting there playing some little miniatures game, and they started to like basically have like a quandary over why these this one faction was attacking this fortress or something like that. So they started drawing up questions for rules and things like that. And then the first edition of Dungeons & Dragons was...
Oh god, Rocket Boys!
So tell me a little bit about these guys.
Rocket Boys?
Yeah, why are they, like...
Why do they have rockets and shit?
Well, I understand that their purpose is probably artillery, but
yeah,
like,
they're actually called tank busters.
so who decide? I don't know what I stomped his head
Oh,
against.
like what? What does it like? What decides what an orc is going to be?
Yeah.
From their inception of basically when they're birthed and come from the ground, they know what they're going to be.
Look at that! I telekinetically stomped his head. I'm so cool.
So, you know, basically orc pops out of the ground and he knows like, oh, I know how to fix things, so I'm a mech. And or an orc is like, oh, I know how to like blow shit up. I'm a tank buster, and so on and so forth.
Ooh, that looked painful. Sex is supposed to involve smooth penetrating.
And then, you know, knobs and stuff, and sometimes orcs get bigger, and as they get bigger, they have contention and think they should be in charge, then they become a knob, and then eventually, like, you know, a knob gets big enough and challenges the boss and kills him, then he's the new boss, and the cycle continues.
Oh, okay.
Also, oh, this is another thing too, the orcs are eternal as well. They don't die until combat. One of the more famous of orcs, who's the biggest of the bosses, he kind of like runs a huge part of the orcs that is running the huge wog, is Gazgul Thraka, and he's like over 1,000 years old, I think.
Oh, that was another thing. Somebody, I forget who it was, said it to me. They basically, the equivalent of "shut up" was used shortly thereafter. I think it was "go home, you're drunk" is actually what they said.
To you, like this is a thing that happened?
Yeah, but like I was watching a cutscene in Dawn of War 2. And I was like, I have no idea what's going on, because we were playing as the Tyranids.
Okay, so like the alien bug dudes.
Yeah, which
Zerg, basically.
yeah, effectively.
Yeah.
And we were playing as the Tyranids, and we like started engaging orcs. Like we were in conflict with orcs, and fucking the orc commander, I guess it was like, "For the war, boys," and I was like,
What the fuck's a wog?
"Yeah, no. He actually says like "wah," and it's subtitled as though it was somebody screaming like "ah," like that. And I was like, "So are we actually playing Warhammer?" And and then Noodles said, "Go home, you're drunk."
A little quick thing on the wog is basically the orcs' energy and kind of the thing that binds them, and you'll hear them in this game every once in a while shout it, and it's basically their battle cry. They're huge.
A service skull thing? Nope.
No, just a little light. When they get a bunch of other orcs together, it becomes a wog, and then their whole mission then is to just go on a huge war and just stomp whatever's in front of them, and then other orcs basically feel the presence of the wog, and then other orc clans join up, and it just gets bigger and bigger until it's stopped. That's why the last huge wog that happened near a human society lasted 500 years. So, like, humans are very scared when they're like, oh fuck, a wog's happening. Because basically the orcs just get stronger and stronger, because then the ultimate thing in the universe doesn't happen. Is their main balancing factor, which is, of course, them fighting each other. They stop fighting each other and get together to go basically fight other things. Just because they're bored.
Let's get together and kill all men.
Pretty much, so that's why they're so dangerous, because they finally, orcs come together and... Finish! Get the health backs!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Well, okay. I think it is just about time, so I guess I'm going to clear off this
this
group
wave
of boys,
and stop it up.
and then we will...
Man, what was I talking about before? I totally forgot. Oh, I was explaining the tabletop. I'll explain a little more on the tabletop and the unbalanced in the next episode. It's kind of hard to explain in just like a little bit of blur, but I don't want to, talk people's ear off about 40k as we play the 40k game, but...
Why not?
I don't know.
Really?
We want to shit talk? See you next time, Nondescripts.